I like to do that intro. Welcome to the next edition of Invitation by Invictus. Today, my guest is the one and only Cari Rosno. We met Cari not too long ago. Emily Steele referred you over to us because you were changing your branding, shifting the focus of your business. And she's like, Emily was pretty much like, I love what you guys do. Can you please help Cari out? And we met Cari, and next thing you know, we're building these commercials for you. And like we were just talking earlier, like Cari is known as the truth seeker. And the reason why I know this is because my friend Annie Breeze was like, oh my God, you're working with the truth seeker? And I was like, I really didn't know at the time that was kind of like your undercover, branding. And I was like, well, we do have a new client. I think her name is Cari. And she's like, yeah, she has good shit. I follow her. She is awesome. But she's like, I can't wait to see the video that you do for her. And I was like, well, we're working on them right now. So, Cari, thanks for coming on. We appreciate the time that you've taken. Why don't you just kind of give us like the Cliff Note version of you, where you came from, and kind of how we got here?
Okay, I'll make it quick. So I'm actually from Northwest Iowa. I was born in Storm Lake and grew up there, and then moved to Des Moines, and I've been here long enough to say I'm from Des Moines.
Okay.
I've been in Iowa my whole life, sans about 2 years when I moved to Omaha. Went to school for exercise and sport physiology, graduated from Iowa State University.
Okay.
And then did like a short stint with it, was a corporate fitness director, wellness.
Oh, you were?
I was.
Those jobs are really coveted.
I know, and I hated it.
Really?
I really did. I read a lot of books and I watched a lot of Oprah during that time period.
Oh, yeah?
I really did. Well, I was with a manufacturing company.
Okay.
And so there wasn't a lot of like, I'm going to go hang out in the gym.
All day long.
All day long. No, I was by myself all day, and then I'd have these short stints of people. And anyway, I never enjoyed it. So I left that, went into sales because I had always been told, oh, you'd be really good in sales. And I was like, hell no. I didn't want anything to do with it. But I like people, and I can have conversations.
Right.
So I did. And then I ended up purchasing the company that I worked for after about 4.5 years of being into it.
Okay, that's right.
And had it for 13. I owned it for 13 years. I was there for 19.
Okay.
And how I got here is an interesting transition of a story, but there was a time, late 30s, when I'd wake up and go, seriously, I have checked all the freaking boxes. I did all the things I was supposed to do. I'm married, I got kids, I have a successful business, and I have to do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And that's I never did anything about it until I had to do something about it, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
But it was a question that I had in my head.
For a long time.
Like,
that nobody had any idea.
No. I never had the conversation. You don't have that conversation because I was seen as successful, right? She's got it all. So why would you question that? Just be grateful for it and keep going.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
Just keep on trucking.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to check off those boxes in life. You're supposed to go to college. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to have kids. And this is optional. You can either have a successful career, or you could be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
like,
totally.
you were just doing everything on cruise control.
Yep.
And then, so when we were doing the research on Cari and trying to figure out how to make her videos, I came across her website. So I got early access to the website that was being built. And I stumbled across the page where it talks about, there's a little blurb about you running in the Boston Marathon when the bombings happened. So from there, I was kind of like, oh, she's a Boston Marathon survivor. And from there, I kind of guessed that's where the shift happened in your life. And that led you to becoming essentially the truth seeker. So we created that commercial where you talk about the bombings. And then as the more that we got to work with you, we got more in-depth detail about it, and which people can now see, through your website and things like that. So like, it's probably an accurate representation of saying that the Boston Marathon bombings is what catapulted that change in your life.
Yeah. And it was one sentence that popped in my head. That's what it was. It was this one sentence when a reporter tapped me and wanted to have a conversation. What was your experience? And this voice said, it's not your story to tell. And that's what shifted everything for me, because I denied my experience and I denied even the fact that I had an experience. But when I explain it to people and I talk to them, they're like, seriously? You didn't think that that was worth having a conversation about, or that worth having an experience of?
Yeah.
And that's what shifted, because in that denial, in the not having the conversation or telling anybody anything, I got super sick. I mean, really sick, bedridden sick. But I kept going and I kept doing all the things. I'd show up to work. I couldn't sign a check without my hands cramping so bad that I'd have to pass them over for somebody else to stamp. Like, it had gotten just out of control. And after all the doctors and having all the conversations, it was, you're depressed. That's what I got.
Yeah.
I thought, no. I had one doctor say to me, okay, I can't do anything for you. You don't really fit my paradigm of, scope of work.
Right.
But I can tell you you're not depressed.
Okay.
I've never known a runner who's been depressed. And that catapulted me into this search of figuring out my own stuff, right? I had to start seeing myself in everything that was going on.
Yeah.
If anybody was going to care about my health, it was going to be me. If anybody was going to figure out what the hell was wrong, it was going to be me.
Right.
And in that moment, I figured that out.
Because nobody's going to do it for you.
Nobody's going to do it for you. I mean, we like to think that they will, right? I'm going to go to this doctor, they're going to tell me this thing and give me the medication, and I'm going to feel better.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go to this person, they're going to tell me what to do, and then I can just move forward.
But that didn't happen with you.
No.
So after the bombing, you were still running, still trying to basically function as best as you could, but do it in a way that people really didn't know that you had these underlying issues.
Nobody knew.
What were your issues clearly, you're a trauma survivor.
Yeah. So PTSD was the first thing. But then what ended up being uncovered was Lyme disease, thyroid conditions, multiple autoimmune conditions, insomnia, heavy metal toxicities, Epstein-Barr. It was just, then this list kept being added to every 6 months. Oh, we found this. Oh, here's this. And it was through me listening to podcasts and talking with people and going to conferences where I would pull pieces out and go, gosh, that sounds like something I should look into. Or I've heard that 2 or 3 times. I bet that's something that I need to research. And I would. And then I would search out the doctor and I would ask them for a particular test and they would give it to me and then they would find it.
Yeah.
And then that's how I navigated that journey.
So you had Lyme disease.
I did.
Didn't even know.
No. I didn't know for about 1.5 years.
So you had it for about 1.5 years and didn't even realize it.
Didn't even realize it. No.
And you're fine now.
Yep.
That even though it took so long for them to diagnose you with that.
Yep. It's all, I've overcome all of it, which is amazing.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's amazing.
Yeah. You've definitely come through a lot of stuff. I think I heard that you had Lyme. Oh, actually, I read because I follow your husband as well. I think I read because he basically gave this amazing shout out on social media where, this is my wife. She's overcome Lyme disease, heavy metal toxicity. It was basically almost like a grocery list of like medical issues.
Yeah.
And then here you are, perfectly healthy, happy, and helping other people.
Yeah.
So how long did it take for you to kind of work through all those things and then, get to a place to where you started feeling happy, I guess, or better?
I started feeling better throughout. And I remember there was a moment when Rick was standing in the dining room of our house and he looked over, and this had to have been 2015. And he goes, I finally got my wife back. And I didn't realize I'd been gone, if that makes sense. And so I knew I was getting better, but it didn't really shift until 2016.
Okay.
And that was when I started to understand the experiences in the past. Like, the shit that happens to us, quite honestly, has an effect on us.
Yeah.
Whether or not you address it, that's a different issue.
Right.
And I tell people the tragedy of trauma is not the trauma. It's not. Yeah, it sucks. And to go through it's awful. But when you don't deal with it, it's like you're leaving a pile of rubble. Right?
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
Yeah. And when you don't go back and rebuild it or figure out or clean it up, then it just keeps piling, and that's what happened. So in 2016, I started understanding these limitations, or how not addressing Boston or not addressing other things in my life were piling up and creating illness and keeping me sick. And then as I started to pull that away, then I really started to get better. And I remember the day when, 'cause I had insomnia so bad that I would be up until 4 or 5 o'clock every morning. I'd maybe sleep an hour or two, and I'd cry because I'd be so pissed at about 4 o'clock. The rest of the world is sleeping.
Yeah.
And I'm awake. And
Yeah.
I'd get so mad.
Yeah.
I remember it was gone in a day. It was gone overnight. I'd had it since 2013. So since the marathon,
Yeah.
and this is 2016, I've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
And it was gone overnight. And I was like, shit, there is something to this. I got to keep figuring out and truly get to the source. Because the source of everything that was going on was, yes, an illness, but it was so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
We just don't talk about it.
So how did you work through all that? Like, you know, all that trauma, all the medical issues. I mean, clearly you went and sought medical attention.
I did. Yeah, for sure.
But I know that you've done more than the, you know, the regular person. So
Well, the medical was only going to get me so far.
Right.
Right. And then I would get so far and then I would slide back. And it frustrated the hell out of me. So I had to keep looking. And when I finally understood the amount of power that we have in the mind and how the limitations and how the belief systems will play a part in our overall health, that's what I started to dig into.
Okay.
I'd done the medical side.
Yeah.
And I'd only gotten so far.
Right.
I was like, this isn't good enough for me.
Right.
So I did the limiting beliefs.
Okay.
I dug into the past experiences, which is hard. It sucks. I agree. I had to go back and sit in the pain of Boston numerous times, right?
Yeah.
And figure out, what is it that I was supposed to be learning? Why was I there?
Okay.
To me, everything happens for a reason. And when I
yeah.
say that, it's not this, everything happens for a reason. It's, we are creating everything in our lives for some reason, right? So it's not like it was happening to me. I was there. Why was I there? What was I supposed to be learning from it? And then I had to go back further than that into childhood. Why did I have the experiences in childhood I did? What was it supposed to be teaching me?
Yeah.
And when you can do that and start shifting that stuff out and change those negative beliefs into positive ones, then your health shifts, then your life shifts. Then my husband was a completely different person than he is today. So if I look back, Rick and I 4 years ago, oh good Lord, we were completely different people, unrecognizable. But I started shifting my own business and he shifted. Right? When I understood that I was worthy of having an amazing relationship, and I was worthy of having choice, and I was worthy of being loved in a loving way, not a judgmental or a critical way,
Yeah.
then everybody started treating me that way.
For sure.
And I didn't even have to say anything. It just kind of happened. That's amazing.
Right. So 2016, everything's shifting. Are you still working for that company that you
Yeah.
owned?
So I owned that company up until last year.
Okay, that's right.
Beginning of last year. Yep.
But in the course of that 3-year time span, you were doing the meditations, the limited beliefs. You were just spending all of your free time.
Yep.
Studying, understanding,
Yep.
and then were you kind of teaching on the side as well?
Yeah. Yep. So I started working with people pretty early on and had the business at the same time. I didn't know what I wanted to do with the business, quite honestly. I mean, there was a whole security and stability that was built into that, right? Having an amazing company.
Right.
And something shifted and something inside of me said it was time to transition out, that we needed to do something. So I get a text message last year, one of my peers, and he was like, hey, would you ever think about maybe selling the business? And I responded back, and I was like, yeah, I think you caught me on a good day. Good job.
Yeah.
And 45 days later, I sold it.
Wow.
I was in freaking Mexico for 30 days. But 45 days later, without any issues, it was sold. And it's because all of a sudden I'm completely aligned with what I truly want, with what sits inside of me, with what my truth is. I'm not living life for anybody else anymore. I'm not living the life that anybody else told me I needed to live.
Checking those boxes.
I'm not checking the boxes anymore. I really don't care. I'm living my life. And then everything just becomes easy.
Yeah.
Right? We just get caught in the cycle of culture, caught in the cycle of, isn't it supposed to be this way?
Yes.
Right?
Right. It's because that's how we were raised. That's what we were taught. That's what we were unconditionally trained to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're working as the CEO, you know, the HBIC, you're running the show. And then at the same time, you're coaching people, right? And then you start like this is your jam.
Yes.
And then tell me how you got into the coaching aspect, because, you know, like, was it just like one of your girlfriends? Like, I love what happened. Not so much I love what happened, right?
Yeah.
But I see who you are now, and I see you're happy, and I see that you're aligned, and you know, like, your life is centered. Can you help me get there? Did it start off like that? Did you, like, you know, unconsciously walk into something like that?
I think I've always done some form of what I do now. I just had to do it in a indirect way.
Yeah.
Right? Within the business. And then when I truly figured out the opportunity that this provides and what this can do, I thought, this has to be shared. And nobody else in Des Moines was doing this.
Right.
Nobody else was.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, this is a perfect opportunity. I have to learn as much as I possibly can. And then I started working with a couple of people. And when I would see these ginormous transitions, oh, okay, I have to keep doing this, right? And so it just kept building. And then when the business shifted and I no longer had that, this became just the passion and the life work and the full time all the time.
So you've been coaching people since when?
2017.
Okay. And then are you still coaching people from when you first started? Or is it kind of like they've worked through the program and you've let them go, but they can always come back?
Yeah. So we'll go through a program. We'll go through a stint of time. They'll see these huge changes, and then step away, go live life. Something else comes up. I feel stuck. I feel like something else is bothering me, or they go through another experience. And then they give me a call.
Okay.
Yeah. But the goal is, and I've always said this, I don't want to be the lifetime guru. I don't want to be the one that you have to come to 5, 10, 15 years from now. I want to teach you how to be able to do this for yourself, because you can.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, when I was going through it, I had other people I worked with, but I'd wake up and I'd feel crappy. And I'm a type A personality. So I'd be like, if I feel crappy, I need to move this shit now. Like, I don't have time to be on a wait list for 2 weeks.
Right.
I need to move it.
Right.
And so that's really what propelled me into diving in and learning it as much as I did and as quickly as I did. But to give other people that opportunity. Like, you can do this for yourself and you can do it for your kids. I'm going to teach you how.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm going to give you the tools.
Exactly. Because we all have it. We just don't know how to use it.
Correct. Or we don't necessarily understand it.
Yeah.
And you're going to walk them through it.
Exactly.
And then coach them through it, and then be their supporting system, and then cut them loose.
Yep. For sure.
So tell me about, like, what's the best way for somebody to get in touch with you right now? If they're watching this podcast and they're like, everything she's freaking saying, I'm checking off those boxes, right?
Yeah.
So how can one of our viewers reach out to you and be like, Cari, let's have a conversation?
The best way is on my website, which is now launched.
Right.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
It's now launched.
Yeah.
So the best way is on my website or on Instagram.
Okay.
And it's just Cari Rosno everywhere.
Got it.
When I work with people, I work with them on a 6-month program at least.
Right.
I used to work with people, 1 or 2 times, and what I found was it just doesn't have the kind of impact that people want.
I don't think it sets.
It doesn't set.
Yeah.
It doesn't set. Right? We can make some transition, but then the subconscious mind is going to throw up a red flag and be like, ooh, shit, that was scary, and you're starting to mess with me.
Yeah, that's
and
too deep.
It's way too deep,
Yeah.
right? I am here to protect you, and so my way of protecting you, even if you think these things are not beneficial for you anymore,
Right.
is to tell you to back off.
Right.
And because we're fine.
Right.
We got this. We've
Yeah.
navigated life thus far
Yeah,
with
it's-
this, right? Like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, we've come this far. What are you doing to us?
That's right.
Yeah, that's like my
Yeah.
dogs. What are you doing to me, lady?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So website, Instagram.
Yep.
And then you have like a consultation with them, because it's some of it is like when you're going through this is like, are we a good fit for each other?
Oh, completely. Yeah. So we do an initial consultation. There's an application that they do to submit, because I'm pretty particular about the people I work with too. I want people who are driven and who have more desire than they have fear. I want those who want to step out of victimhood and want to be in the position of power.
Got it.
Right? So I'm pretty particular, and they need to be particular about who they're working with.
Right.
So we do an application, and then we do a consult,
Okay.
and then we decide if it's a good fit, and then we step into the program.
Okay. 6-month commitment. People that are driven, they want to overcome their fears.
Yep.
Women, men.
Primarily women.
Okay.
And that's just because I find they're a little bit more open to
Oh,
this
really?
type of work. Yeah.
Yeah.
It tends to be very intuitive, and it tends to be more, you have to trust yourself more. You have to trust the things that are coming up more, and you just have to have a little bit more of an open mindset, so to speak. And I find women generally are just, they're ready for that.
Yeah.
They're ready
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah, they just don't contact you to waste your time
Right.
or to contact anybody.
Right.
Yeah. If they're ready for change, they're ready for change now.
Exactly.
So you work with business leaders.
Pro athletes,
Okay.
entrepreneurs, even to, stay-at-home moms, quite honestly, who want something different.
Yeah.
I find one niche that I'm really good in is in life transitions.
Oh,
so
really?
people who are stepping into owning or starting a new business, stepping into owning a new business,
Got it.
stepping out of marriages, stepping into marriages, kids leaving, just these types of large transitions in life. I tend to find we do really well in those areas too.
Okay. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So if you are any of those categories, going through a life change, or just flowing through the cycles of life, basically,
Right.
give Cari a check her out on Instagram or Facebook, the website. Those are your 3 primary,
Yep.
and then just drop the contact form, and she will be in touch with you. So. The website looks amazing.
Thank you. Yeah,
I know
that was
it
a
took
labor of love.
Yeah, it took a long time to get that.
It did.
Yeah.
But it's so worth it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it looks great.
Thanks.
Your branding in itself is really you. So
Yep. It needed to shift. It definitely, it didn't align before.
Yeah.
It does now.
yeah, it does now. Yeah. So Truth Seeker. Let's talk about the Truth Seeker. Where did you come up with that? Because that's you. 100%.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's amazing that Annie picked up on that before we even really hit that home.
Yeah.
Quite honestly.
Annie's pretty intuitive herself. She's into that
I could
kind of
totally
stuff.
see that. Yeah.
So
It really stems from a desire to know who I am underneath all the bullshit that the culture or institutional thinking has placed on me. That's where it started.
Yeah.
I needed to understand who I was and what I believed.
Right.
I don't even think I knew what I believed before my late 30s, because I just kind of picked up and went with whatever.
you're just going through the flow of life.
Right. Whatever life gave you. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I can see that. I'll pick up on that.
Yeah.
And so it's understanding the truest desire of who I am that sits underneath it. You have to be deeply curious about it.
Yeah.
Right? Every aspect of who I am and what I do, I'm super curious about it. So if I go home and I get in an argument with my husband, I step back and I go, I wonder what that was about.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because I know it doesn't have to do with him, generally speaking.
Yeah.
He's just, picked a scab that needed to be healed, and I got to go figure out where it came from.
Right.
Right? And so it's this deep curiosity, but this awareness around life, awareness around what's happening in life and how I truly feel about it without picking up everybody else's crap.
Right.
And so that's kind of where truth seeking came from.
Okay.
Which is funny because it was, throughout my whole career, it was finding the source and understanding and what is it that's going to be beneficial to this person, or what is it that's going to be beneficial to me?
Yeah.
And then you turn it around and you figure out who you are.
Right.
It's understanding you in the action of you and not just the action.
Right.
And that's a totally different way to look at things, and it's a completely different way to look at yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta face yourself forward.
You really do. It's no more hiding.
Yeah.
And I think for my clients, that's one thing. I always tell them it's not for the faint of heart, because I am going to challenge you. Like, I will be all up in your business if I need to be, because I'm not just going to sit back and agree in order to be in your good graces.
Yeah.
I'm not doing you any good whatsoever.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to poke you. I'm going to push you. And you're going to be like, probably pissed at me at some point.
Yeah, like,
and I'll
holy
be
shit.
like, yes.
Yeah.
We
Like,
did it.
You're coming at me hard, lady.
We did it.
Yeah. But I think people need that. I think
they do.
I think like I'm not from Des Moines.
Yeah.
So I don't really have that. My girlfriend says, like the Iowa nice.
Oh my
feel.
gosh. It's so true.
Yeah. I don't have that. Like, I'm going to freaking tell you how it is. And if you don't like it, then get the hell out of my way.
Right.
Right. Either
Yeah.
you're for me or you're against me.
Totally.
And I think a lot of people, especially women, they have a hard time embracing that type of attitude, because they just don't want to step on people's toes. Right? They just don't want to be the bad person, you know, or the rude person.
I don't want to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, get the fuck out the way.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, you're only impeding yourself.
That's right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I don't want to hang out with people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, you're doing a great job. Yeah. I think that's amazing.
You want a participation trophy?
Right? No.
Yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
push me.
Yeah.
Get me out of my own damn comfort
Right,
zone.
right.
Make me better. Make me want to be better.
Right. Doing uncomfortable things to be better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what you're great at. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you've done it yourself.
I have. And I know it sucks.
Yeah.
And I know it's painful.
Yeah.
And I know nobody wants to go there.
Right.
I don't want to go back and revisit Boston 3 times. I mean, I remember in 2016, I was talking to a doctor and I looked at him and I said, I have stuff that needs moved. I don't know what the hell I was saying, but I said, I have stuff that needs moved. I don't need to talk about it. And I think that's just the place that we get to, where it's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't need to talk about it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, because it hurts. Well, you know what? It's going to suck.
Yeah.
But it's going to suck for 5 minutes as opposed to breaking you down over the course of a lifetime. Because
Yeah.
I tell you what, my friend, the less you live within your truth, the more detrimental it is to you, your life, and your health.
Ooh.
Period.
That's a knowledge bomb right there by
Right?
Cari. Feel that. I felt that. So, but it's the truth.
It is the truth.
5 minutes of uncomfortableness and living in that pain versus carrying it through your entire life and having that dark cloud hanging over your head.
Because eventually it's going to get you.
Yeah.
It's going to get
Yeah.
you one way or another. It's just, how is it manifesting itself?
Right.
Is it going to come out in illness? Is it going to come out in cancer? Is it going to
Right.
come out in failed job, failed relationship? What's that look like?
Right.
Addiction? I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But let's go back and let's sit in it for about
Right.
5 minutes. Dig that shit out, clean up the rubble, right? Put
Yeah.
it all back together, figure out where the gold is,
Right.
and then truly be able to move forward.
Right.
And you're free.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much freedom that comes in that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Mm-hmm. I 100% believe in it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell my staff all the time, it's just kind of like, like, what's the best way to work smarter, right? Mm-hmm. Versus harder.
Right.
It's the same thing in yourself.
Totally.
So,
Yeah.
again, if you guys are interested, check out Cari on her website, Instagram. You'll see the truth. Like, the 2 things that always stand out for me when I look through your stuff is truth seeking and manifestation.
Yeah.
Those are the two big things that like just immediately pop out to me.
Well, yeah, because you get to create the life that you want, right? We have these vision boards, we have these grand dreams. This is what I want my life to look like. And I think that's amazing. But the life, how it looks right now, you created too.
Yeah.
So let's figure out why you created it that way. Let's release the stuff that's getting in the way so that you actually have the opportunity to create the life you want, because you can do it.
Yeah.
Everybody can have abundance. Everybody can, right? We just have to understand that we're worthy of it.
Right. How hard do you want to work at it?
Right.
So that's why the 6-month commitment is so crucial.
It really is. It really is. If you want to, do you want to make a change for a lifetime, or do you want to make a change for a moment? That's the question I ask.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're looking to change for a moment, then I know there's lots of videos and lots of self-help books and mantras and all the things that you can do. But if you want to change your life, you got to dig in and do the work. You just have to.
Right. And you do it with them.
Absolutely. 100% the whole way.
So if I was a client, I do the 6-month commitment. I'm investing like X amount of time once a week, a couple times a week? I mean, or just everybody's different in their programming?
We meet between 60 and 90 minutes for the first 3 weeks of the month, and then they have a week of kind of integration.
Okay.
We set goals. We figure out the limitations, the stuff that's getting in the way. There's accountability. I do check-ins. I'm walking it with them. So I celebrate when they celebrate. I dig in when they dig in.
Right.
And we figure it out so that when they get to the end of that 6 months, they can see how much life has opened up and how they've been able to accomplish the goals that they wanted to.
Right. Because you have goal setting sessions with them.
Absolutely.
And then do you revisit each, like when you celebrate per se, do you celebrate that goal that was achieved, or just basically whatever that they try to manifest themselves?
Yeah. We do. The thing is, people will manifest and create goals way smaller than they're capable of. So that's the first thing I do is I challenge those goals back. I'm like, really? That's it? Like that's as far as your imagination will go, because that's as far as your manifestation will go.
Right.
So let's stretch that out a little bit. I challenge them there, and then we walk through, and as they're celebrating wins all along the way, we're going back and we're checking stuff off.
Got it.
Right? And then we set something even bigger and grander for the next time.
Right.
Always stretch for the biggest. I mean, if there's anything that I would tell anybody is always stretch way further than you think you're capable of, because that's where you'll end up going.
Yes. Absolutely.
Right? Don't take that mid step.
Yeah.
Right? So if there's a promotion you want and it's 2 tiers higher than you, you're like, yeah, but I got to do this one first. No, you don't. Go for the 2 tiers higher.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has the ability
to do that. Because if you
don't,
you're never going to know.
You're never going to know.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. You're never going to know. Stretch yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I think through life, just as humans in general, we always take that safe route.
Yeah, we do.
Because, coming outside of our comfort zone, nobody wants to suffer, right? Nobody wants to be uncomfortable. Nobody wants to have to deal with, my whole thing is I hate rejection. Right? Like, of course. I know that about me.
Of course.
So, but it's just like, okay, I just got to shake it off and then just got to move on. And if you're not for me, you're against me. So get the hell out of my way.
Love it.
Yeah. I mean, I tell my staff that all the time and they're just kind of like, you really want to do this? I'm like, fuck yeah, I want to do this. Let's do it,
That's awesome.
So yeah, I mean, I agree. I think just people in itself, guy or girl, you're just used to taking the safe route and then you just continue. You just unconsciously just get stuck taking the safe route every time and time again.
Well, and there's this whole belief too that you have to climb the ladder in whatever it is, right? You've got to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
So it's, well, I would love to go for that, but I know I've got to do this, this, and this first.
Yeah, the hierarchy.
No, you do not. It's bullshit. Can we just stop it with that business?
Yeah.
You have the ability to make a choice, and so do they.
Yeah.
They do. They can decide, I'm going to take you up 3 rungs without having to go through the entire process.
Right.
Anytime somebody tells me, isn't it supposed to be that way? Or doesn't everybody believe that? My answer is no.
Yeah.
Period. If that comes out of your mouth, that is just your way of keeping yourself small.
Right.
No, it doesn't have to be that way. And no, not everybody believes it.
Right. Doing big things, Cari Rosno. That's it. Doing big things. If you want to do big things for yourself, Cari is your person. I hope that, that others watch and they're just kind of like, God, that's what I need in my life.
Right?
Yeah. Just that one person.
Yes.
Because all it takes is one and it magnifies.
It does. And everybody needs that one person. Mm-hmm. Everybody needs that one person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cari, once again, check out our website, Instagram, Facebook, drop her a message. Because you meet with people in person and over Zoom, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're not scared to go out and go meet people here in Des Moines.
Oh my gosh, no.
And Zoom's really easy for you to get on.
Super easy.
Yeah.
Super easy. So
we have to wrap up. Before we let you go, is there anything else that we need to know about that is Cari Rosno that we haven't covered?
Oh my gosh. So many things. What is it we need to know that we haven't covered? I am always in the process of learning too. I'm always in the process of learning.
For sure.
And I think anybody can be a teacher if we have an openness and an awareness to see what's happening around, right? My daughter is an amazing freaking teacher. She is this wise little soul, and sometimes the stuff that comes out of her mouth, I'm like, I can't even get adults to understand that, honey. How is it that you've got it figured out so far, right?
And she's like 11.
She's 11. Yeah. It's insane.
If you guys see Allie is, if you see Cari's pictures, those are Allie's pictures. She is the bomb.com for sure. That little girl is like, she's going to take over the world. No,
she seriously is. It's amazing. Yeah, she blows my mind. So I would say I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly challenging myself. And I think that the greatest gift that somebody could give themselves is to ask questions, get curious, and not settle.
Yes.
Like, stop settling.
Yeah.
If you're upset, don't be settled with being upset, right? Don't be settled with sitting in fear, and stop being comfortable with the way things are in the world, because you don't have to experience things the way that everybody else is experiencing it in the world.
Yes.
You get to decide.
Correct.
So just know that. You get to decide. You have a choice, and you are worthy of having absolutely everything you want in life. Period.
Another truth bomb by Cari Rosno. Boom! Hunter, we need to build that graphic.
Right? That'd be amazing.
Yeah, we will build that graphic. All right. Again, check out CariRosno.com, correct?
Yes, that's it.
Instagram is Cari Rosno. Facebook is Cari Rosno. And then, guys, just if you have 10 minutes, that's all it takes.
It's really,
10 minutes to change your life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't take long.
Yeah.
We've built it up to be this insane process that we have to go through. And I don't have time for that business, quite honestly. And I know a lot of other people don't. So let's just figure the shit out super fast.
Yeah.
Move through.
Yeah. Because, if I was to contact you today, you would have that conversation with them within 24 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's pretty quick. And then we get moving. And quite honestly, they start seeing shifts immediately.
There you go.
It's insane.
There you go, ladies. Cari is the HBIC. And if you don't know what that is, look it up on the Urban Dictionary. She is a cold piece. She will help you out for sure. I love Cari. This is why you're here.
Thank you. This is awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for coming. We appreciate the time that you gave us. Again, CariRosno.com. Same thing. Instagram, Facebook. Give her a ring. If you're looking for that transformation, changing your life, and then doing the things that, I like to say the 1%ers, right? Like when people think 1%ers, they think it's like money, but it's not. It's the 1%ers that think outside the box.
Completely.
They think outside the box for themselves. They think outside for their business, just in life in general. If you want to be that 1% to where you're 1% and you're better in yourself, Cari is the lady. Thank you so much for coming. We'll most likely probably have you come back and just follow up and see how things are.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. That'd be amazing.
Awesome. All right, guys. We out. Check out. Don't forget to, what the millennials say these days, like, subscribe, follow. Follow Invictus Media and as well as Cari Rosno. Thanks for your time, guys. Have a wonderful evening.